Hey guys, my name is Alan and welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing an acoustic guitar tutorial over Rattle by Elevation Worship. And there's no acoustic part in this actual song, so this is just kind of my interpretation of what you could play if you do want to play acoustic on this song. Also, if you want a chord chart, that's going to be available over on Patreon, but I'll also have chords running across the top of the screen for you guys throughout the video. And on Patreon, that'll be a PDF that you can print off and follow along with if you want. And I'll also be making a cover video of me running through this acoustic part for the whole song so you can hear it all together. So be sure to stay tuned for that. We're going to be doing this song in the original key, so Capo on the 1st fret, key of E flat. And first we're just going to go over all the chords that you need. And if you're comfortable with chords, feel free to jump ahead to the timestamp on the screen. But in case you need them, we're going to start off with a D chord. And the way we're going to play this is a little differently than we normally would. It's kind of like a D chord with no third in it. So we're going to put our first finger on the 2nd fret of the G, third finger on the 3rd fret of the B, and we're going to strum from the A string down. So we're going to go ahead and hit that open A in there. Then B minor 7, we're going to put our first finger on the 2nd fret of the A string and our 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the G string. We'll strum from the A string down. Then A suspended, we'll put our first finger on the 2nd fret of the D string, 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the G, and 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the B. We'll strum from the A string down. For our G chord, we'll put our middle finger on the 3rd fret of the E, kind of mute the A string there with the first finger, and then put our ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. We're strumming from the E down to the B. D over F sharp, we're going to use our thumb to play the 2nd fret of the E string, first finger to play the 2nd fret of the G, and then the ring finger to play the 3rd fret of the B string. We'll strum from the E string down to the B string. Then later on, we don't use these chords very much, but in one of the bridges, the D over C chord, we're going to put our first finger on the 2nd fret of the B, or G, sorry, 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the B, and then our middle finger on the 3rd fret of the A string. We'll strum from the A down to the B. Then the last chord that we'll need is D over A sharp. And for this one, we'll put our first finger on the 1st fret of the A string, 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the G, and ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B. We'll strum from the A down to the B string. It's kind of a cool sounding chord. Alright, that's all the chords. So I'm not going to play anything until the 3rd verse, and the 3rd verse is where the words say Pentecostal fire stirring something new. So that's kind of where I would come in. And let me just run through it for you once, and then I'll show you how to do it. So verse 3 would sound like this. So to walk you through that, it's pretty straightforward, but we'll start off with our D chord, and we're going to strum 16th notes, just kind of down, up, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a, same thing again, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a, then we'll go to our B minor 7, and we'll do this for 2 beats, 1 E and a 2 E and a suspended for 2 beats, 3 E and a 4 E and a, then the G will strum once, D over F sharp once, and then D once, and then up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So that last little part. Let me run through this 3rd verse one more time for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's it for verse 3. Then next we'll run through verse 4, and it's going to be the same strumming pattern as verse 3, just the chords will change slightly. So let me just run through this one for you one time. 1, 2, 3, 4. So just to walk you through that in case you need it, again we started off on a D chord for one measure. Then we went to a G for 2 beats, 1 E and a 2 E and A suspended for 2 beats, 3 E and a 4 E and a, then B minor for 2 beats, 1 E and a 2 E and A suspended for 2 beats, 3 E and a 4 E and back to our big hits. Let's run through that one more time. Ready, go. And that's it for verse 4. Then we'll go over a chorus 2, and for this part it's pretty similar to what we've been doing. We're going to start on D. We'll strum just up and down 16th notes, kind of alternate strumming for one measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then our big hits this time, we're going to play A suspended, then G, and then D. And then up, down, up, down, up, down. So those big hits again are we'll do that same thing again, starting on D for one measure. And our hits. Then after that, our chord progression kind of speeds up a little bit. We'll play B minor 7 for 2 beats, A suspended for 2 beats, G for 2 beats, back to D. And D for one measure. And our hits on G, D over F sharp, D. Same thing again. Last D, we just kind of let it ring out at the very end of that chorus. So let's go back to the beginning of that chorus and run through the whole thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. B minor 7, A suspended, G, and D, stay on D, and our big hits. And that's all for chorus 2. And that brings us to bridge 1, and this is where the lyrics say, "My God is able to save and deliver and heal." So for this part, I would pretty much just kind of chill and just rest for the first half of it, and then whenever the words say just ask the stone that was rolled, where it really starts to build, that's where I'm going to go ahead and come in. And basically we're going to repeat sort of 2 patterns. Our first pattern being G, D over F sharp, and then D. We're going to do that 7 times. Then after we've done that 7 times, the 8th time our chord progression is going to change. We'll go B minor 7, A suspended, and then G. Still the same strumming pattern though. We'll go down, 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 up, down, up, down, up, down. So let's go back to where I'm going to start playing on Just Ask the Stone that was rolled, and we'll go from there to the end of bridge 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Time, B minor, and that's it for bridge 1. Then the 3rd and 4th time through the chorus, we're just going to play the same thing both times, so I'll just go over kind of the 3rd time through the chorus, and I'll just run through it. So we're starting off on a D chord, still strumming 16th notes, down, up, down, up. 1, 2, 3, 4. B minor 7, A suspended, G, D. Repeat that. One more time. Hold the D. Our big hits. That's it for chorus 3. And I wasn't totally sure how to label this next part, but I just went ahead and called it bridge 2 and then bridge 3. But basically this is where they're singing I Hear the Sound, kind of repeated over and over again for bridge 2. And for this part, it's just really one chord. I won't do this whole thing for you, but basically it's just a D chord, and we're just going to strum back and forth, strumming down, up, for 8 measures for bridge 2. So you get the idea there. And then bridge 3, just the same thing again for 8 more measures, just staying on D. Yeah, basically that part is just like, there's a lot of just kind of random stuff going on, like slides on the guitar, harmonics, a lot of different noises and stuff. But basically that's what I'm doing, just hanging out on that D chord the whole time for bridge 2 and bridge 3. Then for bridge 4, and this is where they're singing live over and over again, or really more like screaming it, we're going to hold the D chord, and we're going to have this little palm muted riff that sounds like this. And as far as walking you through that, we're just holding a D chord, and we'll hit the D string twice, and we'll palm mute, and then we'll strum from the A string down to the B string. Okay, so we're doing that 2 times is kind of one pattern. So one pattern would be 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll do this 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Third time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last time. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then after that, we're going to go to strumming 16th notes again, starting with our D chord for 2 beats. 1 E and a 2 E and a. Then we'll have this D over C chord for the first time. We'll do this for 2 beats. 3 and a 4 and a. B minor 7, same rhythm. Then this D over A sharp we finally get to use, and we'll do this for 2 beats. So once it gets to this part, we'll do this pattern 2 times. It sounds like this. And then that's really it for bridge 4. And then the chorus right after that, like I said, we're just going to play the same thing that we did on chorus 3. So, I mean, that really wraps it up for this tutorial. Hopefully that gives you guys some ideas of what you could play if you are playing acoustic guitar on this part, and at least hopefully gives you some chord shapes that you can do. But let me know if you guys have any questions down in the comments. As always, I love hearing from you guys. And don't forget, if you want a PDF of the chord chart to go along with this, that's going to be on Patreon. That'll be down in the description. You guys can check that out if you want to. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button. And if you're new around here, you can always subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to be sure you don't miss any future videos. And that cover video will be out soon as well. A couple other things. Also have a couple other channels that I'm going to try to start pushing a little bit more. One is a DIY channel, and right now we're renovating a house on that channel, so I'll link that down in the description if you guys want to watch that. Then my other channel is a piano channel where I post covers of classical music and film music and video game music, so you guys can check that out too if you're interested. I think that's it. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys in the next one.